Hi guys, so we are continuing this topic of health and disease, and what we are going to look at in this video will be three different types of bacterial diseases, which are Salmonella or Salmonellosis, gonorrhea, and syphilis. Now let's talk about Salmonellosis, referred to as Salmonella food poisoning or gastroenteritis. Now, you may have had this disease at one point in your life, and I'm going to explain to you what happened when you did. Right, so we say that this Salmonella food poisoning, the microorganism that causes the disease is called Salmonella. So you've heard of recalls on certain products, sometimes in the newspapers, the TV, about foodstuff that contain Salmonella. And the reason why Salmonella, once it gets into the body, is so bad is that it results in symptoms such as diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. So, how does this bacteria Salmonella get into the body? It does so by a method of transmission called a foodborne method of transmission, where the Salmonella is present in milk which has not been pasteurized properly, or meat or eggs that have not been cooked properly or are raw. And that's why it's called a foodborne disease, because if you consume any of these products that contain the bacteria, you will end up with gastro or gastroenteritis as it's called. And this is referred to as some sort of fecal contamination because the source of the bacteria is the intestines of animals and or feces. Now, the presence of Salmonella in the body will lead to certain symptoms, and with these symptoms, it is preferable to get rid of these symptoms so that a person may feel well, and they can do so either through a prevention methods or treatment methods, where if you cook your meats properly, it will kill any and all Salmonella bacteria which may be present. If you drink raw milk, that is real milk, that has not been boiled, let's say it's pure cow's milk, you can get salmonellosis from that. Usually milk which is purchased from your groceries tend to have a sign on it called UHT, which is milk heated to an ultra high temperature, and this is to kill this bacteria which is Salmonella. If you cook at home or if you purchase food where the poultry was not defrosted properly before it was cooked, that can also be a source of the bacteria, as well as hygienic food preparation techniques are very important to prevent the spread of gastro. For example, use of the washroom before, during, or after cooking must be accompanied by thorough washing of hands with soap and water. And with salmonellosis, I'll take the opportunity to mention the treatment. It can be treated with an antibiotic. It may be a mild or strong antibiotic depending on the severity of the gastro that an individual may have. Of course, there is no vaccine for gastro as it is treated by an antibiotic, and there is no cure or no immunity to this disease, meaning that you can get it anytime in your life through a method of a foodborne source, and that is gastroenteritis. And of course, it is caused by a transmissible microorganism, and hence it is a transmissible disease. Now we're going to look at two types of STDs. One is called gonorrhea and the other is called syphilis. Both are caused by bacteria and both are sexually transmitted diseases which can be obtained through sexual intercourse where there is an exchange of bodily fluids. So the bacteria is present in bodily fluids. Gonorrhea leads to certain symptoms, and syphilis can lead to other certain symptoms as well. I don't need you to know the symptoms specifically for gonorrhea or syphilis, sorry. I just need you to know they are both transmitted sexually, as well as an idea of how do you prevent or treat both diseases. And the prevention recommended for both of these sexually transmitted diseases will be abstinence. And the treatment, because they are both caused by a bacteria, as well as salmonellosis, would be the use of an antibiotic. Right? So it may not be the same antibiotic used to treat salmonella, right? It may be a stronger antibiotic. And of course, it is mentioned here because it is a transmissible disease, that is, a sexually transmitted infection. There is no cure as well as no immunity, meaning that a person through sexual intercourse where there is an exchange of bodily fluids may obtain it from another person at one or more points in their life. Right? So these are the three bacterial diseases that we will look at in detail. What I need you to know from this slide is that all three are caused by bacteria. What are their methods of transmission? I need you to know the symptoms of salmonellosis and its control. And for gonorrhea and syphilis, you don't need to know the symptoms, but you do need to have an idea of the treatment, which is that it is treated by an antibiotic. Right, so thank you everyone for viewing my slide on bacterial diseases.